Good morning, guys. Welcome to this Thursday, December 18th, and countdown to Christmas is on. So yesterday was a pretty brutal day. It started off, it looked like we had a little bit of strength going yesterday morning, and then it turned into just an absolute disaster. So we're down here below that 6,800, still holding right at it. Reverse retesting is what they're doing now. This to me is a move out of the middle to the downside. Unless they reverse it completely today, that's what you're going to see, and most likely see further weakness. But I'm going to withhold total judgment right now because we got some news coming out this morning. We got the CPI number coming out at 8:30, jobless claims, Philly Fed manufacturing, e-commerce retail at 10, leading indicators at 10. We got plenty of news coming out at 8:30 and 10. And then a 5-year tips auction at 10. We have a Kansas City Fed number come out, Fed manufacturing number come out at 11. So I'm not sure that's going to be a big deal, but just be aware of it. So 8:30, 10, we're going to get the bulk of the news, and then we have a 11 o'clock piece of news, and we have a tips auction at 5-year tips auction at 1. So starting off today, I'm going to start off with a bias to the downside. Okay, given the move out of the middle yesterday, the fact that we're still holding below 6,800s or at 6,800s right now, I'm going to assume that this looks to me like a revert retest of resistance at 68.10, 68.20. If they can get up above 68.20, start retracing it, I'll take off the short bias and go back a range bound. So that's the way I'm looking at it right now. But looking to get short against the 6800, 6810, 6820 for rotations down. Above 6820, taking off the long bias, going back a range bound. Looking at buying against support 6790, 6775 for rotations back up. And below 6775, we have the attractor at 6765. So we are right there. So I mean, I would wait for them to take out the 6760 before I really start to lose confidence in this thing. So we're right down at this lower attractor right now, and we'll see if they can hold that thing. I would not be surprised if we run down here, maybe even try to overshoot it a bit and testing that 6760s. But it then was guess. Right now, I mean, I've been surprised that the market has been so weak going into the Christmas holiday. Most of the rally happened, I guess, up to the beginning of November. Then we have been seeing some struggling and then actually some weakness after that. So we'll see how the rest of the day shakes out. The news coming out at 8:30, and that's going to be could potentially move the markets pretty good. So we'll watch for that. If it's volatile but not directional, as usual, we fall back on the analysis. If it's directional, that means that you have one big directional bar and it doesn't quite recover from it or reverse from it. Then we go with that bar and look for a new state trade. So that's how we get started. If this trade up above that 6820, looking for retracement back up in these upper areas. Still looking for shorts again because it means shorts up to that 6850. That's your attractor on the way up. So they come back up to the 50s. We may see a little bounce, but as I said, that is an attractor area. So we'll see if they manage to get back get back to those levels. But right now, the way it looks, starting off with a bias to the downside. Let's see if they can retest these lows, potentially take it lower, maybe head down to that 67, 65 to 60 to 65 attractor area. So that's how we get started. Pretty straightforward. I was checking last week's or next week is Christmas week. So we have the Wednesday's Christmas Eve, and that's going to be a half a day. And then we have Christmas Day, Thursday's close, and then we have a regular Friday. That's kind of what it's going to be like. So Christmas in the middle of the week. A lot of squeeze days, probably a lot of sloppy trading in that, or light trading, I should say. But anyway, so that's how we get started on the ES, on the NASDAQ. The reason it takes so long to flop up on screen is, I guess, because I have these 27-inch 4K monitors now on the for the profile. It takes a while for them to redraw on it for some reason. Anyway, the Looking at the Nasdaq, also pretty weak. Definitely move out of the middle to the downside on the Nasdaq, and they have the back up here, reverse retesting the lower end of that prior range. Have not been able to get up above the 25 100s, but we have our 360 edge way up here, so we are way away from that guy, and we are solidly in lower territory right now, backed off pretty good. So again, I would look to sell strength, starting with a bias to the downside against the at this point against the 25 100s. If this starts trading above that, oh man, I screwed that thing up a little bit. Let me adjust. Let me adjust that for a second. Take this guy off for a second and draw it back on again. I'm drawing it like that. There, that's what I wanted. So now I can say what I wanted to say. If it trades up above that DE print, then I'm going to be looking for a more of a retracement trade to the upside. So Nasdaq, it took it lower, retraced pretty good in the overnight, but it's still in a spot where we have to be paying attention to if they're going to be retracing or not. So still they're staying on the short side. If they start taking out that 25 100s, looking for a potential retracement trade. All these single print Ds could be a nice retracement trend to the upside. So, and that would be a long trade. Definitely hop on a long trade on that one, see how far they can take it. We're starting off right now, looking for a short against that level, see if they can take it out or not. If they head lower, looking to buy against support 70s, 25,000s, 24 940s, and 24 890s. So there we have them. They were down here at that against that edge here. It's like a 5-6 level edge. Pretty good edge to lean against. Low volume area as well on the short term. Or sorry, longer term is the long volume area right there. This is 180 days of data. So that's the low volume area right now. A little bit of bulk of volume below that. If they start taking out that area right now, the low volume area at 960, I think they can run it down here to that 820 and this lower bulb of volume as well. So we'll see if they again if they're going to see some strength today, or this early overnight this little overnight strength is just going to turn into weakness. That's what it's been like the last few days. I mean, it definitely feels pretty weak. So you get the overnight looking like they're going to be showing off some strength, and then they just absolutely tank during the day session. So starting off on the bias to the downside, watching for a retracement trade of these single prints. If they start retracing them, still looking for shorts against that 170s, 240s, up to the 300s for rotations back down again. But definitely a potential long trade on that retracement on these single print deep prints. All right, so that's the Nasdaq. So we get started. Looking at the bonds. Bond market. Pretty much just the same, holding right smack in that middle of these, between these high volume areas right now. Tight range, not a lot of range to work with. As you can see, we have a building value here. We're going to go back and forth down to the 114, up to the 116, 117. So I'm expecting them to start filling out this area right now, and pretty much stay in that range. The yields came up a little bit when the prices dropped. And then we'll see. But looking at this, splitting out my white split, but you can see not a lot of things to lean against here. Looking to buy weakness initially. So I'm flat out range bound right now. So I'm going to be looking to buy against the 1510s, the 1500s, or the 15 even, the 114.26s down to the 114.20s. Looking to sell strength, 1516, 626s, 1603, up to the 1610s for rotations back down. Given the range above the 115.26s, I would probably start thinking maybe a directional move going, and below the 115s, I would think a direction move to the downside maybe going. That would be consistent with the usual overnight range we've been getting. So kind of slow bond market, but if you find the setups, like yesterday, I didn't try to take a trade at all. I'm looking for very specific setups, and that would be a retest where it stalls like this. A retest, it stalls maybe more than a couple of bars. The 2 bars doesn't break it. It doesn't back off. I try to get on a short at that point or a long, depending if it's This one here is a pretty good one here. The retest, the 2 bars and the second bar not moving, that will be sufficient. It's a yes, I think I kind of watch it, but if it stalls like that, you have a potential retest failure setting up. So those would be decent setups to try to take. But I mean, early on, we'll see how this now shakes out. It's starting that bond market here in a few minutes. All right, so back to the ES, and not much to say about it. Oil and gold. Oil is a little bit to the downside. I think if I go back to the ES here, oil, and this is the F2 on oil. As you can see, they were down here all the way down to 55. The day session yesterday traded up a little bit. Right now, overnight is holding, but they're down in the 55, 56 range, so they're definitely to the downside. And so oil heading lower, we'll take that. We'll take that for sure. And gold is pretty much holding around 43.50s right now, so up against the highs, at least the last 90-day high. So they're up here against that 4,400 level, getting ready to burst out or break out potentially. So we will see. But anyway, so oil and gold, not particularly caring for them right now. But the ES and Nasdaq, both of them starting from the short side, looking for early strength to get short against. And but if they do take out the levels, I mean, we may see nice retracement trades develop on both the ES and Nasdaq. So on the ES here, we had the here is above that DE print. Here you have a lot of single print D prints to retrace. So above that level, 20s, look for that retracement trade, same as the Nasdaq. All right, so we'll leave it there for now, guys. And I will see you guys back at 11:30 for the next update. Good trading. And as the news is coming up in about 12 minutes. All right, guys, later.